Competing territorial claims, resource exploitation, and maritime disputes converge to define the South China Sea as a geopolitical hotspot of global significance. The recent participation of the United States Navy in joint drills underscores escalating tensions with China. As these tensions continue to rise, it is crucial to delve into the multifaceted factors driving this conflict and to analyze the strategic role of the U.S. Navy in maintaining stability amidst mounting challenges. There is an estimated $3.3 trillion worth of trade that takes place annually in the South China Sea, which is located between Southeast Asia and the Pacific Ocean. This sea acts as a crossroads for global trade routes. Nonetheless, competing territorial claims have resulted in a simmering tension between governments that are geographically close to one another. China's claim of sovereignty over practically the whole sea, which is denoted by its infamous 9-dash line, poses a direct challenge to the claims made by countries such as Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, and Brunei. How have China's expansive territorial claims in the South China Sea impacted regional stability and sovereignty? Because to its advantageous location, the South China Sea is able to simplify the transportation of commodities between the Pacific and Indian Oceans, which accounts for more than 20% of all international trade. The continual flow of maritime traffic is fundamental to the economy of a great number of countries, which is why this region is considered to be a pivotal component of international trade. Stockpiles of resources. There are enormous oil and gas deposits beneath the surface of the ocean, which are estimated to be worth $2.6 trillion. There is a widespread belief that the Paracel and Spratly Islands, which are now under dispute, contain substantial reserves, which has increased the level of struggle for control over these lucrative resources. How does the strategic location of the South China Sea contribute to its significance for global trade and maritime commerce? One of the most plentiful fisheries in the world may be found in the South China Sea, which provides a means of subsistence for millions of people. On the other hand, fishing practices that are illegal, unreported, and unregulated pose a threat to the long-term viability of marine ecosystems and create conflicts between stakeholders in the region. Conflicts of law and territorial boundaries. The differing interpretations of maritime law, in particular the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, are at the heart of the controversy that has arisen in the South China Sea. Extending 200 nautical miles from coastal baselines, the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea delineates exclusive economic zones. However, overlapping claims confuse jurisdictional borders. China's sweeping territorial demands, which are epitomized by the 9-dash line, have the effect of challenging the sovereignty of surrounding governments and going against the standards that are established internationally. Fears regarding the environment. The environmental concerns in the South China Sea are multifaceted and deeply concerning. The rapid economic development and military expansion in the region, particularly by China, have led to significant ecological degradation and pose substantial risks to the delicate marine ecosystems found within its waters. China's extensive reclamation and island-building activities in the South China Sea have caused widespread disruption of marine habitats and ecosystems. These activities involve dredging and filling in large areas of seabed to create artificial islands for military installations, airstrips, and other infrastructure. The process disrupts natural sedimentation patterns, alters water currents, and smothers coral reefs and other underwater habitats, leading to irreversible ecological damage. The destruction of habitats, including coral reefs, mangroves, and seagrass beds, has profound consequences for marine biodiversity. Coral reefs, in particular, are among the most diverse and productive ecosystems on the planet, providing essential habitat for numerous marine species. The loss of these habitats deprives marine organisms of critical breeding and feeding grounds, leading to declines in biodiversity and ecosystem health. Coral reefs are especially vulnerable to the impacts of reclamation and construction activities. Sedimentation from dredging can smother coral colonies, while changes in water quality and temperature can stress coral reefs and make them more susceptible to disease and bleaching. As a result, coral reefs in the South China Sea have experienced widespread degradation, with significant portions of once vibrant reefs now barren or in decline. The degradation of marine ecosystems in the South China Sea poses significant ecological dangers, not only to local marine species, but also to global biodiversity. Loss of habitat, overfishing, pollution, and other environmental stressors threaten the survival of numerous species, including endangered marine mammals, sea turtles, and commercially important fish stocks. Moreover, the decline of coral reefs and other critical habitats can disrupt entire marine food webs and lead to cascading ecological impacts throughout the region. Escalation of military operations. In the face of mounting tensions, military posturing has grown increasingly prominent, with both China and the United States strengthening its naval presence in the region. There is a clear indication that China intends to exert its dominance over contested waterways, as evidenced by the militarization of reclaimed islands and the deployment of Coast Guard vessels. On the other hand, the United States Navy has increased its freedom of navigation operations (FONOPs) in order to oppose China's excessive maritime claims and to maintain the principles of international law. Strategic interests of the United States Navy. Worldwide superpower, the United States of America has a vested interest in maintaining the rules-based international order and safeguarding the freedom of navigation. The need of resisting China's assertive behavior and protecting regional stability is highlighted by the fact that it has rebalanced its strategic focus to the Indo-Pacific area. Deterring potential aggression and protecting the territorial integrity of the United States allies and partners in the region are two of the most important roles that the United States Navy plays in the region. The United States of America demonstrates its dedication to collective security and readiness to respond to unforeseen circumstances by deploying forward-deployed carrier strike groups, amphibious task forces, and rotational deployments. There are opportunities for diplomatic engagement and security cooperation in the South China Sea that can be found through multilateral alliances such as the Association of Southeast Asian Nations and the Quadrilateral Security Dialogue. Interoperability and defense capabilities among regional allies are strengthened through the conduct of joint exercises led by the United States, such as the Rim of the Pacific exercise, which takes place annually. The use of FONOPs is an essential instrument for ensuring the protection of navigational freedoms and opposing excessive maritime claims in accordance with international principles. Reiterating its dedication to the preservation of open sea lanes and the resistance to unilateral coercion, the United States Navy conducts frequent patrols and transits through waters that are the subject of contentious disputes. How have recent joint exercises between the U.S. Navy and regional partners influenced the balance of power and security dynamics in the South China Sea? Recent joint drills with friends and partners in the region have served to highlight the unwavering dedication of the United States Navy of the United States to maintaining maritime security in the South China Sea. The United States of America has increased its presence in reaction to China's assertive behavior. In order to offset China's acts that are disruptive, the United States has conducted naval patrols and FONOPs, an important demonstration of force and solidarity in response to China's incursions into Philippine maritime territory. The United States Navy's joint drills with the Philippines are a significant demonstration of power. Through the enhancement of interoperability and capability, these exercises strengthen the defense posture of the Philippines and are effective in discouraging any prospective aggression. Enhancement of cooperation across regions. The United States Navy has actively explored multilateral initiatives to increase maritime security and resilience in the South China Sea, in addition to engaging in partnerships with other nations bilaterally. The measures that are being made in collaboration with ASEAN member nations and other partners that share similar values highlight a shared commitment to maintaining rules-based order and discouraging activities that could destabilize the situation. In addition to the use of military force, diplomatic engagement continues to be an essential component of the United States strategy in the South China Sea. Efforts to de-escalate tensions, promote confidence-building measures, and facilitate peaceful conflict resolution are the goals of high-level conversations, diplomatic consultations, and strategic engagements. In the South China Sea, the United States Navy has demonstrated its unwavering dedication to maintaining maritime security and stability, which highlights the significant role it plays as a guarantee of regional peace and prosperity. As long as it continues to enforce international law, protect freedom of navigation, and discourage aggressive behavior, the United States Navy will continue to serve as a bulwark against unilateral pressure and actions that destabilize the situation. It is vital to make coordinated efforts to strengthen alliances, develop interoperability, and encourage diplomatic discussion in order to mitigate risks and foster a peaceful settlement to the complex difficulties that are currently confronting the region. This is especially true in light of the fact that tensions are increasing steadily.